Let's bring in CTV military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan, retired Major General David Fraser. Morning, David. Good to see you.
Lauren, good morning. Good to be here.
So we are now entering the second week of the conflict in the Middle East. Trump is saying that Iran will be hit hard today, despite the Islamic Republic apologizing for its attacks on U.S. allies in the Gulf. What should we expect to see if the U.S. and Israel do ramp up the attacks today?
Well, there's a whole bunch of things that are going on right now. I mean, Iran has decentralized their command and control because of these attacks. So you're, in essence, watching cells attack. So there's probably less control at the top. Number two is Iran talking to its neighbors. It's an appeasement to say, hey, look, we're not after you. We're after the U.S. facilities and anything that might be supporting Israel. So it's a step back. It's also probably a function of harboring what resources they do have to actually focus on the attacks. And, again, there's tremendous pressure on Iran. And there's also unconfirmed reports that Russia now is supporting Iran with intelligence. So this is going to be complicated. But at the same time, we're also hearing that maybe out of Washington, they will orchestrate something to try to start to prepare the end of this war, because we're going through an awful lot of munitions.
All right, I want to focus on what Iran said about the attacks on its neighboring Gulf countries. They said that it was the result of a miscommunication. Does that seem unlikely to you?
No, not really. The miscommunication, United States and Israel attacks Iran. Iran goes after those areas. And I think Iran initially had a strategy to try to pull in the other countries to put pressure on the United States. It didn't work, so now they're just kind of ratcheting it back. Iran has been attacking, facilities in places like Bahrain, in Qatar and whatnot, where the U.S. have actually got troops and air defense there. That makes sense, but, you can only do it for so long before these countries come after you, and these are the neighbors that just don't go away after the war. So I think Iran's just pulling it back a bit. It wasn't a miscommunication.
David, there were some confusing reports a few days ago about a possible ground incursion by Iranian Kurds. That didn't happen, but it seems like some intel may have been leaked to the media on that. What happened there, and do you think we could still see that play out in the coming days?
Well, with this administration, anything is possible. They're all over the map, and they were probably exploring options with the Kurds, but the Kurds is far more complicated because it's in 3 different countries at least, and none of these countries want to be dragged into this war other than what's going on in Iran. So I don't think the Turks wanted it, the Iraqis didn't want it, and I think better minds have just said, hey, let's just hold back on that. But it doesn't mean that the Kurds wouldn't take advantage of this like Hezbollah has, and it also doesn't mean that maybe down the road the Kurds could play a role, but for the time being, I think the U.S. has pulled them back.
All right, let's talk about Lebanon now. They've become really a key stage of this war. We saw the defense minister of Israel warning the Lebanese government that if they don't assist in disarming Hezbollah, that all of Lebanon will pay the price. Are we going to see the back and forth between Israel and Hezbollah escalate, or do you imagine the government of Lebanon will step in to stop it?
Well, Lauren, this has certainly become the second order of effect of the attack on Iran, that Israel had unfinished business with Hezbollah. Hezbollah were silly enough to actually fire some rockets, and that was all the indication that Israel was looking for to go after them. And Lebanon is taking the brunt of this. I think we're going to see this play out for some time until such time as the people there get control over Hezbollah to the degree that the Israelis are satisfied. But this is not going to end anytime soon. Israel has a long-standing feud with Hezbollah and with Lebanon, and they're now fully in the crosshairs. And this is the second order of effect of Iran.
All right, lots of players in this conflict. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
CTV military analyst, retired Major General David Fraser.